Did you just wake up to the news of a surprise $4.700 stimulus payment heading to your bank account? A development born out of a late-night Senate session led by Bernie Sanders that completely blindsided Washington. If you're scrambling to understand what this means for your wallet and why it happened with zero warning, you're not alone. The political world is in absolute shock right now, and we're breaking down exactly what you need to know about this unprecedented economic movement in one seamless narrative. Before diving into the stunning details of this overnight legislative bombshell, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're committed to bringing you breaking news and analysis faster than the mainstream media. You definitely don't want to miss our upcoming coverage on how to actually claim your stimulus payment when the time comes. Now let's get into this shocking development that has everyone talking. The political landscape shifted dramatically last night when Senator Bernie Sanders orchestrated what many are calling the Moss T surprising legislative maneuver in recent memory. During a marathon session that stretched until 3 a.m., Sanders managed to push through a $4.700 direct stimulus payment plan that caught both parties off guard. This development comes as inflation concerns and economic uncertainty continue to dominate headlines, with many Americans still struggling to make ends meet despite official reports of economic recovery. What makes this story particularly remarkable is not only the timing but also the secrecy surrounding the vote. While rumors of a potential economic relief package had been circulating in Washington for weeks, nobody expected action this swift or decisive. The session was strategically scheduled during a time when media attention was focused elsewhere, specifically on the ongoing debates about infrastructure and tax policy. This calculated move Sanders and his allies to build a temporary coalition of support without facing the usual barrage of opposition that might have derailed the effort. But is this stimulus plan actually real, and if so, how did it pass so quickly without mainstream media coverage? These are questions flooding social media right now, with hashtags like #StimulusSurprise and #BernieBlitz trending nationwide. The truth is that legislative procedures can sometimes move remarkably fast when the political will aligns. What we're witnessing is a perfect storm of economic necessity, political opportunity, and procedural maneuvering coming together in a rare moment of decisive action. The details of the stimulus plan reveal a targeted approach rather than a universal payment system. The $4,700 payments are directed primarily toward households earning under $775,000 annually, with a gradual phase out for those earning up to $100,000. This structure mirrors previous stimulus efforts but offers a more substantial individual payment amount. Additionally, the legislation includes provisions for supplemental unemployment benefits and small business support, creating a comprehensive economic relief package valued at approximately $120 trillion. The overall funding for this massive initiative reportedly comes from a combination of sources, including temporary tax adjustments on corporations and high-income earners, reallocation of previously approved but unspent pandemic relief funds, and targeted spending cuts in non-essential areas. Many critics have asked whether the economy can handle another injection of this magnitude and whether such an infusion might worsen inflation. These concerns are valid and represent the primary criticism from opponents of the measure. Economic experts remain divided on the potential impact. Some warn that pumping additional money into the economy could exacerbate already concerning inflation rates, while others argue targeted relief is necessary to prevent a widening wealth gap and a potential recession. The actual economic impact likely lies somewhere in between, largely depending on how quickly the funds are distributed and how recipients choose to use them. The political implications of this development are equally significant, especially with midterm elections approaching. This move represents a bold gambit that could either pay tremendous dividends or backfire spectacularly for its supporters. Sanders Sanders himself has framed the action as a necessary response to congressional gridlock and the failure of traditional legislative channels to address urgent economic needs when the American people are suffering. We cannot afford to wait for perfect consensus, he reportedly stated during the marathon session, emphasizing that sometimes democracy requires bold action even when that action comes at an unexpected hour. CR, however, are already mobilizing against what they characterize as legislative overreach and procedural manipulation. Several senators have expressed outrage at both the content of the bill and the manner in which it was passed, promising legal challenges and procedural countermeasures in the coming days. The White House has yet to issue a formal statement on the development, creating additional uncertainty about the executive branch's position. For those wondering how this will affect them personally if the stimul plan survives the inevitable legal and political challenges, most eligible Americans could see direct deposits beginning as early as next month. The legislation includes provisions for an expedited distribution process that leverages existing IRS systems established during previous stimulus efforts for those without direct deposit information on file with the IRS. Paper checks would follow approximately 2 weeks later. However, the process for claiming your stimulus isn't as straightforward as previous rounds. The legislation reportedly includes new verification requirements designed to prevent fraud and ensure that payments reach their intended recipients. This means you may need to take proactive steps through an online portal to confirm your eligibility and provide updated information. We'll be covering the exact process in detail once the official guidelines are released. Adding to the complexity of this situation is the broader economic context. Recent market volatility coupled with persistent supply chain issues and labor market disruptions has created a precarious environment. Despite strong headlines numbers, housing costs continue to rise in many areas while wage growth struggles to keep pace with inflation, further intensifying pressure on the government to intervene. This stimulus plan therefore is not just about immediate relief, it also serves as a barometer of the nation's economic health and potential blueprint for future interventions. It ties into ongoing debates about student loan forgiveness, healthcare reform, and minimum wage increases. Some analysts suggest that this move could accelerate or even reshape these parallel conversations depending on its economic impact and public reception. Social media platforms are already flooded with reactions ranging from celebration to skepticism and outright conspiracy theories, with a hashtag #stimulus overnight generating millions of impressions in just hours. Users are sharing their plans for the funds, while others question the legitimacy of the news, highlighting the challenges that accompany such unexpected developments in an era of rapid information dissemination. Misinformation is spreading almost as quickly as accurate reporting, underscoring the need for caution. Looking ahead, the stimulus plan faces numerous hurdles before it can become a reality. Legal challenges are virtually guaranteed, with questions about procedural compliance and constitutional authority likely to dominate discussions. Moreover, the mechanics of implementation present logistical challenges that could delay the distribution of funds regardless of a legislation's current status. In addition to these concerns, there is growing public anxiety about the potential long-term ramifications of such rapid policy shifts. Experts warn that while the immediate relief could be beneficial, the long-term economic stability might require more measured and transparent policy making. This situation has sparked a broader dialogue among policymakers and economists about the balance between urgent economic intervention and sustainable fiscal management. As we watch these debates unfold, it is essential to stay informed through reliable sources and exercise caution when sharing unverified information. Scammers are already attempting to capitalize on the confusion with fake stimulus registration websites emerging within hours of the news. Remember, official communications will come only through established government channels, not through random emails or text messages requesting personal information. If this stimulus plan moves forward, it could represent a watershed moment in American economic policy. The precedent of rapid, targeted intervention may reshape How future economic challenges are addressed, potentially leading to a more agile and responsive governance model. Conversely, if the effort fails or produces negative consequences, it could severely limit similar actions in the future. As we continue to monitor this developing story, it is crucial to remain vigilant and critically assess emerging information. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to stay updated with the latest details. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give us a thumbs up and share it with friends and family who might be wondering about this shocking economic news. Drop your questions in the comments below and we'll address them in our follow-up coverage. Furthermore, as we add our additional analysis to this unfolding narrative, consider the broader implications of such swift legislative actions on both domestic and international markets. This incident not only signals a potential shift in American fiscal policy but also sets a precedent that could influence how other countries respond to economic crisis. With the world watching closely, the decisions made in Washington tonight could echo far beyond US borders, impacting global financial markets, trade relationships, and geopolitical strategies as debates intensify in Capitol Hill and among economic experts worldwide. The outcome of this stimulus plan remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear: the rapid convergence of economic necessity, political strategy, and legislative innovation has set the stage for a new era of fiscal responsiveness that may redefine the future of economic policy making. Thank you for joining us on this in-depth analysis, and we look forward to keeping you informed as more details emerge in this critical moment of American history.